Thank you for joining me today. This was a request video. This is the CM.022, available from UKArms, eBay sellers. Very easy gun to find, and considering I don't have a shooting test for this video, what I'm going to offer instead is my personal thoughts and then some warnings about this gun. So I want to start off with this entire thing is plastic. Non-adjustable front sight, flash hiders built in, no threading options there. Comes with a sling from CYMA. This is their typical 2-point sling, steel hardware. The mounting hardware built into the gun, it's just a very thin steel, sort of well style hooks. That's very concerning for me. The sling itself is okay. But bafflingly, they've got one sling point on one side, and then they've got one on the other right here. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. The only moving parts on this gun are the hop-up adjustment tab, the magazine, and then, which is detachable. It's very much like a real one. And then the battery compartment stuff here. Otherwise, the dummy bolt is plastic and it's built into the gun. It doesn't move. And then you have the rear sight here, which is adjustable, much like a real AK. Doesn't have a lot of wobble, thankfully. And then you got your flat, and then you got your really high. If you lift up the sight, then you can just go a little bit higher and try to use the gun beyond what its effective range is at, which is about, I'd say, 80 feet, maybe, so about double the size of my basement. Beyond that, it gets kind of dicey, especially if you're trying to use .12s or .20s. The gun doesn't have the power to launch .20s, and I'll chronograph this in a minute. Plastic gearbox, plastic gears, terribly old design. The Stunt Studios X-47 or S-47, which was around in about 2007, the exact same gun from CYMA. This guy's been around for a really long time. Spare magazines are a concern. You can find them, but they're not cheap, and they're not entirely easy to locate. High cap magazine. Sometimes sellers will try to disguise these magazines as for a higher end AEG, and the easiest way to ID them is looking for this sort of switch on the front. It's a ridged switch, and then it pops up like that. Sometimes they have them deployed in that position, and then this is what the rear tab looks like if you're looking. Not terribly much else to identify the magazines with. Again, you can't really find them for cheap. And then and then the 7.2 volt, I believe it's definitely a NiCad battery, 500 or 700 milliamp, can't quite remember. I've got concerns about that being able to last a skirmish, even if it's in the backyard. So let's go ahead and try this guy out. Fully functional safety switch. So good range, definitely has a hop up, even with, let's see what the fixed hop up can do, the lowest adjustment point. So .12s, even with the hop up all the way off, they appear to still be going up. There are other videos that can demonstrate this gun firing much more effectively than I can. So I think all I can do now is show the trigger pull and then the rate of fire. Let me do semi-auto. Dear God, is that semi-auto? This gun might not be able... I think mine's broken, actually. The fire selector on mine appears to be broken. So let me try the fire rate here. Not bad. Trigger's okay, especially for an electric. Oh, and then the sling point at the rear is molded in. Top cover doesn't come off. The damn thing doesn't move. The gun is very light. I don't think they actually have any lead weights in here. So this is good for younger players. Chronograph time. think I've covered all I can with actual shooting. Let's see what .12s can do. 193, and this is a pretty fresh unit. I got it this year, brand new. 161, 159, 163, 174, 162. So it's shooting roughly like 160 to 180 FPS. We'll give it kind of a higher estimation. Really not that great with .12s. We're gonna drop that rating down and say it can do about 120, 110 FPS with a .20. So I think 80 feet is going to be the max with this gun. If you're using .20s, you're really going to have to cannonball them. Although again, the gun has a hopper, but just doesn't have the power to do .20s. So if you're using .12s or .20s, you're going to have to try to get accuracy by volume, fire rate. And that's kind of dicey. So I think that's really all I have to say about this gun. The sling works well, although the sling hits, again, are concerning. Not quite sure what the price is on this guy, but this is the only AK-47 LPEG available today. They come in a few different variants. You got a tactical, much like the CM.022 AK-47, the higher end AK model from CYMA and JG. It's got a rail, a top rail, and then it's got a bottom rail, I think. So if you're more concerned about flexibility, I'd get the tactical version with the black railed furniture. Being able to use an optic would probably be terribly more effective rather than this windage fixed rear sight. Being able to adjust for the windage would be really just a fantastic help with this gun. Probably get you a lot more use out of it. So I think that's really all I have to say about this gun. It's a good LPEG, kind of weak, but for the firing entirely, I defer to a different video. So given the LPEG and then the other LPEGs available, I'd say I'm going to give this gun a 7 out of 10. There are better LPEGs, but I can't quite say for sure without knowing the retail price today. That's all I have to say for this guy. So thank you for watching. Hope the requester, his name is Ivan, found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. You wanna know my game? Suicide Squad. Pistol on my way.